And please welcome President Jerzy Kwaśniewski. Is it close? Is it pretty close? It's pretty close. We get that word, John. Come on. Pretty close? Pretty close. You're standing here with us. Almost there. That one there, yeah. There you go. You're in the middle. Okay. All right. We should say the Eagle Award is for dedicated service to God, family, and country, and we allow Poland to be that country in this case. You know, it didn't say America, it's country, so that's why it works. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a great honor to be here with you. With this special address, as it is titled in the agenda, a special address from an abortion-free nation in Europe to abortion-free state in the United States. Congratulations, that's a great step you have done with Dobbs case and with the change in Missouri. We are very much inspired by what's happening here, and we perceive the Dobbs case and the decisions in states like Missouri as a great inspiration and support, strong political support to our stance in Europe, because we are the largest abortion-free nation in Europe, and as you may imagine, we are attacked for that by European Union and by our friends in Brussels. But in general, something went wrong with our civilization, and we all feel that. And something went wrong with our human rights, founded in the late 1940s to secure the natural law. According to the Declaration of Human Rights, everyone has the right to life. Everyone. United Nations Declaration on the Rights of the Child and the Convention on the Rights of the Child state that the child, by reason of his physical and mental immaturity, needs special safeguards and care, including appropriate legal protection before as well as after birth. Declaration, UN declaration about the rights of the child before him being born. Those times are times of the human rights collapse. And in times of human rights collapse, we need to go back to the roots, to the faith and natural law, unalienable rights, confirmed in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the human rights that were globally accepted as a consensus, with a right to life at its very core. And that is our mission. That's our mission of Ordo Iuris. That is our mission of activists, of pro-life movements. That's a mission of all the American organizations that are coming to Poland. And in January this year, we were co-hosting a 40 Days for Life event in Kraków, because we need very much this kind of newly established, very dynamic groups to come to Poland, to inspire young people, to come to Poland with all the know-how you have in order to change the new generation, to move the young generation to the pro-life positions. And this change, this going back to natural life, to natural law, to faith, to unalienable rights, it's something that is obvious to all us here during the Eagle Council. We need to go back not only to life, but also to family, to basic freedoms, loved by generations of Polish and American citizens, ready to give their lives to protect this treasure of exceptional Christian civilization. And we share the same dream, to secure the better world for our children and grandchildren, a world true to the natural law and natural social order, with family at its core, and fundamental natural rights and freedoms secured against the transgressions of the state ideologies, so we may peacefully build a prosperous society faithful to God, nation, and family. But we share not only the same dream, but we also share the same enemies. And we live in times of false philosophies. As you may remember St. Paul, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ. In 20th century, National Socialism in Germany, Soviet communism in the East, then sexual revolution, neo-Marxist postmodernism, modern nihilism, genderism, wokeism, all those false philosophies claimed to destroy whatever was left from truth in our societies. And each of those false philosophies, from the Babylon Tower to wokeism today, promised its followers a paradise on earth, inspired many to attack family, freedom, property, afterwards leaving them in despair, in the ruins of the old world, without any fulfillment of this promise. And there is also something in common between all those false philosophies. On their way to destroy family and basic freedoms, on their way to treat people as mindless masses managed by absolute rulers and total states, they have to destroy respect for individual human dignity. And this may not be done without abortion, without society deprived to the level of killing of its own children. This is what was meant by St. John Paul II when he famously, in Centesimus Annus encyclical, warned us all: if there is no ultimate truth and direct political if there is no ultimate truth to guide and direct political activity, then ideas and convictions can easily be manipulated for reasons of power. As history demonstrates, a democracy without the values easily turns into open or thinly disguised totalitarianism. Just yesterday, on the first page of the New York Times International, on my way here on the airport in Frankfurt, I saw an alarming title: Poland tests for abortion drug usage. Patrick Adams, in his opinion, published on the first page, states that the Polish government has rigorously ramped up surveillance of women who were suspected of terminating their pregnancies. Nothing of that is true. Literally nothing. Nobody in Poland tests women for abortion drugs. Nobody introduces measures of surveillance of pregnant women. There is no national database of pregnancies. Nothing, literally nothing on the first page of New York Times was true. Why do they lie? Because, of course, besides of that, they are sons of the father of lie. Because they are religiously, irrationally devoted to their false ideologies. This devotion brings hate, and this devotion justifies manipulation and even violence. It was electrifying for me to see the quote from Phyllis Schlafly, already quoted today on our first page of agenda. Most of the battles I have fought and won, people told me at the beginning, were hopeless. Contemporary word says that to us every time our dreams put the liberal revolution and its lies in danger. But we can bear witness that our dreams come true by hard work, prayer, and professional leadership. And this is exceptionally true when we try to summarize the Polish pro-life movement. It was born as an insurgence against abortion imposed on Poland by foreign powers. Abortion in Poland was imposed initially by German Nazi occupational forces and then by Russian Soviet domination. It was Adolf Hitler who introduced for the first time on Polish soil abortion, legal abortion, in 1941 in occupied Poland. Legal abortion was available only for Polish women and Jewish women. And it was, of course, part of a German plan to annihilate Central European Jewish population and limit Slavic population to a small number of easily controlled, unqualified slaves. But what's very important after the Second World War, those responsible for introduction of abortion on occupied territory of Poland were brought to justice by Americans and sentenced in so-called late Nuremberg trials. Just imagine how different the world was when American judges and lawyers, without hesitation, issued that kind of decisions against abortion. But abortion was reestablished in 1952 by communists as tool of creation of a new Soviet man, free from bourgeois Christian morality. The persecuted Catholic Church responded with all its moral authority and with the wisdom of Cardinal Wyszyński, who was then a primate of Poland. Cardinal Wyszyński announced 10 years of prayers in the middle of Stalinism, 9 years of prayers before the millennium of the baptism of Poland. And all the Polish, millions of Polish Catholics, were praying with the so-called national vows to Our Lady of Częstochowa. And one of the vows I would like to quote, because it is one of the most strong passages of pro-life Catholic teaching that was repeated every Sunday in thousands of Polish parishes. Holy Mother of God and Mother of God Counsel, and Mother of Good Counsel, we promise you, with our eyes fixed on the Bethlehem, that from now on we will all guard the awakening life. We will fight to defend every child and every cradle, as bravely as our fathers fought for the existence and freedom of the nation, paying abundantly with their own blood. We are ready to suffer death rather than inflict death on the defenseless. We will consider the gift of life as the greatest grace of the Father of all life and the most precious treasure of this nation. Queen of Poland, we promise. 9 years in the middle of Stalinism, in the middle of communism. And it took one generation of this grassrooting campaigning of the Catholic Church to win over for life many people previously loyal to communist ideals. And since 1978, since John Paul II was elected, during each of his pilgrimages to Poland, he mentioned the need for legal protection of life as one of the main points of his teachings. In 1993, 4 years after collapse of the Berlin Wall and regaining of independence, under the pressure of the Catholic Church, against the political polls of support, our parliament introduced full ban of abortion. Mostly full ban, with 3 exceptions: life or health, serious damage of the fetus, and conception being a result of a criminal act. And we needed another generation of grassroots campaigning, started in 1993. It took another 20 few years of the activity of Catholic or lay organizations. It took 20 few years of a Catholic Church running all the Polish single mother shelters, pro-life movement developing huge array of social assistance programs for mothers and families. It also took 20 few years of pro-life activists on the streets presenting shocking pictures, raising awareness of what the abortion is. And it took 20 few years of petitions to the parliament, signed by hundreds of thousands of people, for the parliament to ban the so-called eugenic abortion, abortion of children with disabilities. One after another, all those petitions, signed some of them by 1 million people, were rejected in the first reading. The last one in 2018. And it was rejected by the conservative government. In the center of those actions was, of course, a demand to ban abortion of children with disabilities. And finally, we brought the issue to the political mainstream.
Testing.
We have pressured our conservative government that was elected in 2015 to take the case of the eugenic abortion to the Constitutional Court. And in October 2020, Constitutional Tribunal, quoting Ordo Iuris opinion, decided that provision of law allowing for abortion of children with disabilities violated rule of law principle and violated equal right to life constitutional provisions. And one very much personal remark, it was a very personal moment for me and my family.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
I was standing in front of the Constitutional Tribunal when the decision was issued. It was the COVID time. I was the only one allowed to enter the Constitutional Tribunal, but then I get out from the tribunal to say what happened to all the pro-life campaigners there. And we were expecting a baby. And our baby boy was then 29th week of pregnancy. And the day after that, he died. He was very ill. We, of course, hoped that we will be able to bring him to life, to give him this opportunity for some medical interventions, but of course it was impossible. Our God took him. We mourned and cried, but there was one thought, that he died as a full man under our Constitution. It was a day after this decision. He had full right to life. A day before, children in his state, were deprived of this constitutional right. That was a sign. But the pro-life struggle never ends. After the Constitutional Court ruling, thousands of pro-abortion activists, campaigners came to the streets, attacked churches, burning churches. They sieged our headquarters of Ordo Iuris in Warsaw. They demanded unconstitutionally reversal of the decision of the Constitutional Court. And soon it became clear that money is being poured into Poland, into this abortion movement from abroad and from the structures of European Union. Then European Union twice condemned Poland and condemned Ordo Iuris in 2 resolutions of October 2020 and October 2021, giving a green light to the pro-abortion movement to go to another level. It became clear for them that they have no support in Poland, but they may pressure Poland from the structures of European Union. And in face of diminishing support for abortion movement in Poland, pro-abortion lobbyists changed their strategy, decided to take advantage of the rising structures of European Union and European Union superstate that year by year takes more and more power, more and more sovereignty from the European Union member states. Poland was accused of violating the rule of law because of the pro-life policies, of violating human rights because of pro-life policies, of violating women's rights because of pro-life policies. And we were threatened that the EU will freeze Polish access to common European budget, which actually happened last year. But we were not intimidated by EU and abortionists. Ordo Iuris started social campaigns and legally supported pro-life NGOs that faced anti-Catholic protests that pressured the police and government to take actions against abortion providers. Even the yesterday New York Times opinion on the front page mentioned our major victory in providing the criminal sentence to the abortion providers, to the pill providers in Poland. We also launched Alliance for the Common Good, the gathering of similar-minded NGOs from our Central European region. With their support, we won a battle with leftist politicians in the European Parliament who petitioned EU to exclude Ordo Iuris from EU committees. And they were supported by International Planned Parenthood, Center for Reproductive Rights, and others. Finally, they lost. Leaving many aspects of the pro-life activity to Polish specialized NGOs, Ordo Iuris has focused on countering the globalist gender agenda and abortion agenda in European Union. The aim of all global management supporters is to acquire the power to decide on critical issues above the heads of people, without any level of democratic control. Abortion, global pandemic policy of World Health Organization, global climate policy of World Economic Forum, global migration arrangements are just few examples. More and more decisions are being prepared and taken in the United Nations. Last year, for the first time in history, the General Assembly opened illicit abortion among human rights in the collection of sexual and reproductive rights. This year, United Nations representatives with UNAIDS, Office of the High Commissioner of Human Rights, cooperated in drafting of Principles of Human Rights Guide, which openly promoted legalization of pedophilia. I don't know if you are aware, but just a short quote from this document of United Nations: sexual conduct involving persons below the domestically prescribed minimum age of consent to sex may be consensual in fact. The enforcement of criminal laws should reflect the rights and capacity of persons below 18 years of age to make decisions about engaging in consensual sexual conduct. It's a part of a new perspective to human rights. Now, in United Nations discusses the global implementation of gender transformative education, and of course, it is an urgent need to start our own permanent mission to United Nations. You have a lot of conservative organizations active in UN, and there is not a single conservative organization from Europe active on the UN level. And it was just a flash of the situation in Poland and Europe, and it comes to fundamental rights, as it comes to fundamental rights and the natural social order. We have a special focus on the right to life. Very often, our enemies call us the dreamers to undermine our aims that are as impossible to obtain. 2 years ago, Politico named me as a dreamer, giving me a nickname of a dreamer, putting me among 28 of the most influential Europeans. But history teaches us that nothing is determined, and what looked like a dream a decade ago becomes a reality today. Thank you very much.